Hulk Hogan's Real American Wrestling. That is the big reveal. I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago, there was this promo that Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan was posting out there that was meant to ape the NWO.
I did get it.
Yeah, they posted another video a couple of days later because they were teasing the third man for their new project. So anyway, it turns out that the new project is trying to professionalize amateur wrestling. What do you think?
Well, that's not a bad thought. I'll give them credit for that because they professionalized college football. They did that. It's not supposed to be professionalized. But now you're saying they professionalized what? Did you say they professionalized?
Amateur Olympic wrestling. Either way. But the thing is, you always said it's most...
They're gonna have a problem with that because of the Olympics.
No.
They're gonna have a lot of lawsuits and all kind of stuff.
Well, apparently, the promotion strategy is bringing on Izzy Martinez, who's a well-known coach with experience training Olympic athletes.
Never heard of him in my life.
Yeah, me neither. NCAA champions and top collegiate wrestlers. So essentially, this is the guy who is signing up or getting people who are established amateur wrestlers.
He hasn't called me.
What would you be?
No, I'd help him in rating talent.
You hate amateur wrestling, don't you?
That's not the point, James. The point is we can make a few dollars on it. And of course, James, you being my buddy, I would have to throw your name in there.
Oh,
and you could pick up maybe $100,000 a year extra, and you don't got to do nothing. You just got to take a couple of phone calls from me. And I say, hey, what do you think of that guy? I think if you did this, good. I wrote it down and just to say that I picked your brain. See, but you know how far this is going to go. Who not too long ago did I say dead on arrival in WWE?
You've said that about a few people. It's probably Maximum Male Models.
Yeah, I did say that.
Karrion Kross.
And what were they in WWE?
They were
dead on arrival. Yes.
Yeah.
And the other guy, what's the guy's name that has got the girl, the blonde-headed girl?
Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I said he was dead on arrival. But now they found out that, hey, he's a pretty good talker. So let's let him talk, and maybe the people will find something there. So what I'm saying is sometimes, you just talk a bunch of, with me, I just talk a bunch of shit, and that's not right, and that's not right. But it is right. After a while, you're going to find, will he interest people enough to get them to take a pay-per-view, to buy a ticket, to buy some stuff, this, that, and the other. You know who he is. That's basically what that's for.
But the thing is that, I mean, isn't there a reason that professional wrestling worked? Was because actual wrestling was boring.
Yeah, it is.
Wait
a minute, your point is what?
Well, how can they sex this up to a point? Because ultimately, they're going to have to... It's still amateur wrestling. I mean, they can have all the entrances and music and fireworks and everything like that, but ultimately, the product is exactly the same. So, I mean, are they going to be able to do what... apart from like some major tournaments like the NCAA or the Olympics or whatever, there's not that much interest in amateur wrestling on like a weekly or monthly basis, I guess, even in the States. So how are they going to interest people in a sport that has historically not been very well engaged with the wider public?
Well, if the WWE, with all their hype about somebody going in the ring, it's music and it's lights and it's smoke and it's this and it's that, and he gets in there and then it is a 5-minute match, a boring match. So actually what follows that, all that hype, is boring. So I don't think they can do much about that unless they can come up and professionalize it and do something else. But then, it's no longer amateur. Then it becomes professional, which therefore just flies right in the face of what they're trying to sell. So, and let's face it, what it is, it's Hulk Hogan's trying to get money out of certain people and trying to do this and do that and sign these guys and they'll hit about a 1 or 2 year little run, and after that, it'll be down the pipe.
They still don't have a broadcast partner, and apparently they're going to be debuting in August. Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan were making media appearances, and I think Eric said that it should be a done deal. It's going to be a choice between maybe 2 streaming partners, and it's a choice between those 2 as who's going to carry it.
Did he bring up any names?
No, he specifically did not bring up any names.
And you know why?
Go on.
They don't have any. That's why he didn't bring up any names, because you can't tell me if, say, CBS was interested in it. Don't you think the name of CBS would be brought up?
Well, maybe if they haven't signed anything yet, they don't want anything to jinx the deal.
No, just say that anything that would give them the purpose of bringing a name of a well-known name in media circles across the world, they would have thrown that up there. But it's not there. They just say, we're talking to 2 people. Hell, they could be talking about the Lewisburg Times, as far as we know. That is a media. It only has a circulation of like 200, but they're talking to them, so they kind of fit that role. But anyway, I don't think it's. I think, hey, Braun Strowman can talk to them. Hey, we see. Listen, I see it coming together. Braun Strowman, the new spokesman for amateur professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. See, it flies in the face of each other, amateur and professional, with a big time spokesman that people know who he is, Braun Strowman. And he could run around, he could get in the town square and run around the square a couple of times. By that time, he's blown up and then hit somebody with a tackle. That'd be good.
It would be good. One more thing with Hulk Hogan, because we can't ever let him get away with, he does these interviews, inevitably lies tumble out of his lips. Hulk Hogan recently made the claim that he was one of the first wrestlers to use entrance music. Hogan said that on a show early in his career in Madison Square Garden, he was told music was not allowed at the venue, so he paid the sound operator $500 to play music for his entrance. This, Hogan says, prompted Vince McMahon to start having entrance themes for all of the wrestlers. And also keep in mind, Hogan once claimed that he wrestled Brock Lesnar after Brock got out of UFC, which he didn't. He wrestled him 9 years before UFC.
Isn't that a 20 or 25 year difference?
Yeah. We'll forget about the UFC thing. What about the entrance music claim? I mean, I know Gorgeous George had music. Sergeant Slaughter had music before.
Wait a minute.
Hogan.
What is he saying? Who banned music?
He's claiming that Madison Square Garden wouldn't allow music, the venue itself.
Why not?
I don't know. They had a lot of concerts.
They
had a lot of concerts in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. But why won't they allow it for wrestling?
Oh, he obviously doesn't go into that.
Wait a minute. I'm starting something here. You know what I'm doing?
You're throwing the flag on it?
Throwing the flag. Wait a minute. I didn't get that. Whoops. There I am. Here we go. I'm throwing it on the. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Hey, we set a record today. I threw the flag not once, but dos tiempos. 2 times.
It's only 50 minutes in.
Beg your pardon?
It's only 50 minutes in.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got time for more. Always got time for more.
Well, we got room for one more.